Welcome to the Rural Way Podcast, practical business and leadership conversations for small town living. I'm your host, Tracy Schira-Parker, and this is where we get to dig into working hard, showing up, and chasing big dreams from farmyards and small towns. So if you're building a business and a life where the pace is slower, you already know things are different. We don't have the same resources, margins, or risks, and this podcast is where we close that gap. We talk strategy that works, living a lifestyle we love, and staying true to our roots. So if you're ready, let's get at it. Welcome back to the Rural Way. I'm your host, Tracy Schira-Parker, and in this episode, we're going to talk about marketing strategies for small business in small town once again. If you caught the last episode, you'll know that we talked about ways that people can find you and how I miss the yellow pages. Now, in this episode, we're going to talk about how and why do people want to go into your business and into your store? Because in small towns, we get a little bit lazy because we just assume that everybody knows what we sell. That, oh, my store has been here for the last 25 years and everybody knows what I sell. And I keep getting this reflection on my glasses. Everybody knows what I sell and I don't need to advertise. And that is false because people are different. We all know that their attention span has gone from like minutes long to seconds long, and it's getting shorter all the time. And so you have to be in front of them to give them ideas as to if I go to town, why am I stopping at your store? Why am I not buying from Amazon? Why am I not waiting till I go to the city to buy it? And what is going to make me stop in today or put it on my list of I have to go to because you know that when you go to town, you're making your list. And so why is stopping at your store going to make it to the list? And so I want to have a conversation here today in regards to that, because I think that a lot of small town businesses have to step back a little bit and say, how and why are people coming to my business? Sometimes it's out of habit. Sometimes you're the only one that owns, or that not that owns it, but that provides that service. But the competition is different now. So why would I drive to town to buy something from you versus ordering it from Amazon? People, yes, some of it's cost, but a lot of it's convenience. And sometimes it's like, oh yeah, I didn't even remember that so-and-so sold that. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Your marketing and your communication and understanding the changing dynamics of your customer, because everybody is changing how they buy. Everybody is changing how they're interacting with things. And it used to be that the farmers were, I don't want to say hillbilly, but they were often the ones that, they'd maybe watch the news at noon, but they couldn't care about all the other stuff. And now it's changed. Farmers are on and they're watching YouTube to find out how to fix something, or they're on TikTok and they're seeing about what other farmers are doing. There's a lot of TikTok that happens in auto steer these days, but everybody's purchasing habits are changing. So I want to have a conversation about what are the changes to your customer. And I don't know your customer like you do. So you need to stop and ask those questions. So first question is, what is their attention span? And why are they stopping and coming to your store versus somewhere else? So there's certain businesses that your attention span doesn't matter, like a funeral home or an ambulance or maybe a massage if you're a massage therapist, because people are not driven by that attention span rather than an immediate need. A funeral home, it's immediate need, but you're only having to buy that service when you are forced to. But that's the reality of small town business. So the next question is, or the next comment is that they're driven by emotion. So what emotion is your business providing? So what makes people feel excited about what they bought from your place? What makes it feel immediate? People are very driven by the emotion of things. And the last one is they want fast, easy, and convenient. So we are a society of, we have in the city, not in the country, we have Uber Eats, Uber Drive, You've got everything is convenient, everything is fast. We can order something from Amazon and have it here in 2 days. So, what makes it fast and easy to serve or to come into your store? And how can you satisfy that automatic need for people wanting to have that problem solved instantly? So, I want you to think about that. How is their behavior changed in their attention span? What emotions do you want them to feel? And how can you make it fast, easy, and convenient? So, I wanted to give a little bit of an example. So, let's say you are a hardware store in town and it is March, and you're thinking, okay, how am I going to get people to come in to buy potting soil? Or how am I going to get people to come in to buy garden hoses or the gardening stuff, whatever it is? Well, what is one thing that a lot of people, and I'm saying this because it shows up in my algorithm all the time. A lot of people are growing gardens that never used to. And one of the things that I love watching is people doing container gardening. It's huge. Pinterest, Instagram, it's filled with container gardening. Okay, so you have a hardware store. You know this to be true. People get the emotion of, oh, they're excited to grow their own food. They're feeling self-sufficient. It's a huge trend of container gardening. So if you if you put together kits and you put it on your social media and you say, we have put together the best gardening box kits, self-made DIY, we have everything you need and we've put it together. And so you aren't buying kits, you're just saying, how big could we put these kits together? And you're just putting the lumber, the any of the fixings, the screws, the gardening, the soil, all the things. And you're putting it together and you can have it together as a kit. And people can then go and say, I want one that's this big. What do I need? And you have it all together and ready for them. So you've done a number of things. You didn't sell anything different. You've just taken what you already sell. You've created something that has emotion. You've caught their attention because they're already looking at it. And you've created the emotion of they're excited because it is the trendy thing. And then you can go one step further and say, um, if you put together your DIY garden box, take some pictures and share it with us on social media, and we will get in touch with you and give you 20% off your next purchase. I'm just throwing this out there. Whatever. So it's a way to upsell and make sure that they then come in again and to increase your exposure on social media, because if Sally made herself a garden box, you can bet that Brenda's going to want to go get the supplies or get her husband to stop in the store and say, just tell him to get everything that Sally had, small town, and they're going to be able to put together the garden box for you. That's just a small little example, but you got their attention. You got it. Especially do it, be timely. Do this out. I would do a 1-year calendar, but plan out. And so you got their attention. You've made it convenient, and you invoke that emotion of people are excited to have a new project. A DIY project is always exciting. So, and then keep asking the question, and then what? And then what? So the other part is, where are you going to place this? You're not going to place it at the front of the store. You're going to place it at the back of the store. So they have to walk through the whole store to get to that thing that you've put together, if you have the space. Ideally, that's why they have bread and milk at the back of every store. You want what they're coming for, but they need to walk by everything first to get there. So those are just some ideas. But stop and ask yourself, how has my customer changed, and how can I change my messaging or up my game? Has your signage changed? Do you have signage? Is there a way that people can access your social media or your website quick and easy? Do you have a big QR code that you can put there so that people can just drive by and take a picture of it and be able to access your website? If they're driving through or they're coming for a ball game, a hockey game, they're from another town, how do they know to drive down Main Street to see your store? So those are some things that you can think about when you have a small business and you're reimagining what your customer experience is going to be like, because it's changed. Um, the other is in regards to if somebody's coming to and through town, do you have a pickup spot? Can they call from Saskatoon saying, hey, we're coming out to the cabin. We're not going to be there till 8. Do you have a pickup spot? Now, if you're a farm wife, you know every pickup spot at every machinery dealership. A lot of businesses should have that because other, customers will stop in and buy it. You can just do a credit card purchase, have it in some type of a lockbox, and have a system set up for customer pickups. It is about taking that convenience to the next step. And I hate to say it, but if you can't provide it and they have to drive all the way to town in a time that it's not convenient for them or they work somewhere else, they will order it online. So get in front of that. What makes your product or service more convenient than ordering it from somewhere else? How can it feel like a better experience by coming to your store versus buying it online? Because there's the convenience piece, but there's also that sense of connection. People are changing their habits slightly because they're wanting to have that human connection again. They're looking for buy local. They're looking for the experience of buying. It's changing slightly. Now, of course, there's always that convenience. There's always the price piece. But just ask yourself, how can I make that not matter? And I guess finally, I wanted to keep this episode fairly short, but just ask yourself if you have never come to the town that you're doing business in, uh, would you know what you sell and would you know what problem you solved? If I've got a problem that needs to be solved through the business services that you provide, how do I know to find you? And the signage piece is huge, and how you present your business, the landscaping, the external. You don't want it to look like a mess, and that matters. And parking matters. Um, if you are a business that is serving people that are always hauling a trailer, can they get to you? Um, there's many different aspects. So again, in the last episode, I talked about doing an audit, and I highly recommend that, especially at this time of year, when people are coming to and through many small towns in their summer plans. Make sure that you have a quick check, a quick audit. Or do we have the right messaging on all of our platforms to make sure that the people can find us? And do they know what problem we solve? So that's it. I I don't want to overwhelm and feel like I'm criticizing small business. That's not it. But I am inviting you to evaluate, audit, reflect, ask better questions. When we ask a better question, we always get better answers. And so if you can ask yourself some really hard questions about what your customer needs from you and how are you going to increase sales, I think it's worth a conversation. And in 1 hour, you could probably flesh out a 90-day marketing strategy for you and your business, and it wouldn't be that hard. So keep it simple. Just use a piece of paper. Don't complicate it. And that's it. So we will see you in the next episode. Thanks again for watching, and make sure that you're subscribing to this if you're watching it on YouTube, and following it if you're listening to this on a podcast platform. It is the way that, unfortunately, it is the way that this all gets to continue to go and actually will reach people. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, and thanks so much for listening, and we'll catch you in the next episode. Take care.